Well, with any Netflix film, there's always a win and a loss. The win is we get to watch it whenever we want, wherever we want, and we get it straight away. The big loss is we don't get to see it in the cinema.
We want to watch it in a cinema, that's what we want. And with a movie this good, that's kind of disappointing that we don't get to see it that way. But we did see it, and it is just, yeah, it's great. So when the trailer for this movie first came out, so many of you guys were messaging us. I don't think we've ever had so many people messaging us to watch a trailer. But I don't know if anyone remembered that this wasn't our most anticipated list. People were like, we want to know what you guys think. We want to know if you guys are excited. It's like, it was on our most anticipated list. We were really keen for this.
Yeah, so we're always going to see it. And if we could watch nothing for it, we're going to watch nothing for it.
And that worked in our favor, because this is a movie you want to know as little about as you can before going into it, other than the fact that it is amazing. It is directed by Bong Joon-Ho. Bong Joon-Ho. Who did the criminally underseen Snowpiercer, which was a very uneven movie, but a very, very, very skilled piece of filmmaking that's really impressive. There's a lot to dive into with that. I recommend that you see it. He also did The Host, he did Memories of a Murder. He's just a really, really talented South Korean director. When we heard that he was teaming with Tilda Swinton, Jake Gyllenhaal, Giancarlo Esposito, and
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano, yeah, and there's Lily Collins as well. There's Stephen Ewan from The Walking Dead. We were just really excited. So basically, this movie is about, we have this. I don't even know if I want to say how much we're going to give away.
Yeah, we'll give away a little bit, just a little bit.
All I really need is a little bit, not a lot, baby girl, just a little bit.
We have our main character, Meja, who is a 14-year-old South Korean girl who is basically, her and her grandfather have raised this animal, Okja, for the last 10 years, and basically some multinational corporation tries to take it away from her, and she goes on a rescue mission to try to get her back home. And that's about as much as you want to know. If you can actually go without seeing the design of Okja before you see the movie, to be even more thrilling, because the adorableness will probably knock you out. This is really just a fantastic, sincere movie. I think the sincerity of what you're seeing here is probably the best part of it.
Yeah, and just being directed by Bong Joon-Ho, I can't say his name.
Oh my god!
Having a film like this directed by him just kind of allows like such different, I don't know, like just a different view for a film like this, because we've seen films like this before by, you know, so many different American directors, and they kind of come and they go and they're pretty boring to watch, but this just has so much flavor in every single scene.
So much skill.
You know, whether it be the cinematography, the actors, the characters, the writing, the direction,
music,
everything. It's just, it's so new, it's so organic, and it's so original.
That's the thing, is that this movie is really a remix of all elements that we've seen before in different movies, right? There's a lot here that you've seen before, but through this kind of South Korean, hyper-talented filmmaker's lens, it all feels really fresh. It doesn't really have this kind of American flow where things work in a way you're expecting. I think a lot of the charm of this movie is that it takes you by surprise on a scene-by-scene basis. I think there's no single scene that goes the way that you're expecting it to. It really kind of has this dynamic, kind of go with the flow, with the moment type thing that makes it a really, really interesting blockbuster, because this has a lot of money behind it.
Yeah, it does. And like Netflix have stated, like they originally said that, I mean, like he wanted to shoot on film, he wanted to shoot in 70mm, and they said, no, you do have to shoot on red, on 4K and digital, because that's Netflix's format. But they allowed him full creative control. And it showed here, because what we did get was a film that was just slow and did what it want, and what we just had to be a participant. No. It was slow in its way of like it did what it wanted to do. So like the opening scene was chill. It allowed us to, you know, really invest in the characters and the world, and we were just kind of like plodding along with it. And then when it needed to speed up and get the job done, or like move through really fast-paced scenes, it did it. But it just, yeah, it's not slow, but it had its own style.
It was really controlled. Let's just look at it at the way of the fact that this is not an American blockbuster. This is a film that takes its time to set up all its characters. The connection between Meja and Okja is so well handled. That's why that scene feels kind of, I guess to some people that need that, oh, it's gonna feel slow, but it's not. This is actually proper organic storytelling where the connections and relationships between things are grown and given the time to flourish. And I just want to say the characters across the board here are fantastic. I'm gonna start with possibly the highlight of the film here is Jake Gyllenhaal, who is out of control, crazy. His costume alone is fantastic, but once you factor in his voice, his demeanor, just the way his delivery, it's just so entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, like, and it goes across, like, all actors and actresses involved in this film, especially Tilda Swinton and Jake Gyllenhaal, because it's the way they use both body and voice on screen here that kind of allow performances to be over the top, but not in your face and cheesy.
It's still believable.
Yeah, they find this really fine line and they work along it. And I mean, it's just pure talent.
I mean, Tilda Swinton is always fantastic to watch. She truly is one of the greatest actresses of all time. There's never a role that she's done where it's not like, there's something so unique and crazy about what I'm seeing right now. And she delivers that again here. The rest of the cast is fantastic. What I want to say is about, this director is known for his ensemble staging. So that's basically putting all the actors in one shot and letting the scene, your eyes kind of focus on who you need to, but everyone is always in the shot kind of doing something. And so even though a lot of these kind of really minor characters here have only got one facet of personality that we ever get to know, that is enough for us to see them built as a real person, because the entire film isn't shot close up to close up to close up. It just has this breathing room where we get to see people react, and we get to use space to control how we feel about people and how they kind of fit into the world. And that is really excellent filmmaking.
Yeah, 100%. And we also don't have to have words to describe them either,
yes,
because we can just see, we can feel their presence on screen, and we can see the way they move, and we can just judge their character, and we go, oh, okay, that's who they are.
You get more than just the dialogue, and that's really important filmmaking that Americans just don't seem to understand. It's something this director has nailed time and time again.
And I've got to say as well, I mean, like, this film obviously presents, like, kind of, it's reflective of the world we're kind of living in right now, and the world we're kind of moving into as well, especially, you know, with animal cruelty and whether, you know, we're all turning to vegans or, you know,
yeah.
Look, it deals with a lot of those issues, but it deals in a really, really nice way. You know, it's quite confronting at times, but at the same time, it doesn't ever take a single side. So for example, like one of the opening scenes, like the little girl is getting some fish for her father to eat that night, and like one of the baby fish jumps out of the water and she chucks it back in. You know, like not overfishing, just like little simple things like that are throughout the
fishing. Lovely. I thought that was a joke, and it wasn't about overdoing it. I'm retarded. Anyway.
But yes, just the themes are so present throughout this film, and they're handled with such subtlety and sincerity, and like I really respect that, because it is a very harsh kind of thing to deal with, and it's done so well.
It's definitely not a kid's film, which is something I was a lot more surprised about. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be exactly kid-friendly or family-friendly or such, but there's like a lot of F-bombs being dropped. There's a lot of really intense stuff that you're like, well, kids can't watch that. But I think that's going to catch people off guard, but that's what allows the sincerity, and it's uncompromising.
In a way, it feels very modern as well. I think it's going to be one of those things that, like, modern parents, I suppose, like younger parents are going to watch this, and then they'll decide for themselves at what age they'll show this to their children.
Because it's a necessary movie, I think. It's one of those movies that really should be seen.
But yeah, I think maybe like not under the age of 10, like it's going to be a little bit above.
Yeah, but
it's a great film.
It's something that I definitely see being shown in high schools and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of those type of movies. And the other thing we don't want to forget here is to say that the cinematography itself is fantastic. It's just one of those movies where every shot is allowed to breathe. The direction, just aside from just the camera work and the characters, just when scenes are chaotic, there's certain scenes around the kind of midpoint of this film that are really like, there's so much going on, they're really crazy. They are handled with, they are just perfected. They are so well done. It's like if people could understand that you can make action look and feel this good, then wow.
Yeah, and he decides the action scenes either to be like incredibly tense or comedic.
Comedic, yeah.
And like that's just
And the audio cues, and just, it's a movie that's quite easy, I think, to get invested in. And that's kind of the point here, is that you get behind these two main characters and you get a lot of enjoyment out of everyone else. You're seeing all these characters that pop up all seem to have a little arc, have a little journey, and it's just like, where did that filmmaking come from? It really is just fantastic here.
So yes, Okja is an absolutely fantastic time. We're so incredibly stoked with how this film turned out, and I can't beg you more, guys. If you do see this film, let people know. Most people have access to Netflix. Get them watching it. Spread the word.
It's really, really inventive filmmaking. It's something fresh, it's something new, and it's something that's really sincere. So in that case, it just has to be seen.
Yeah, and for that, we're going to give this film a 9 out of 10.
We sure are.
Bang, bang, boom.
So that was our review of Okja. Have you seen it yet?
Did you like it?
Did you hate it?
Did you like this video?
Of course you did.
Crave more banter?
If so, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel right there.
And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, all at Breaking Banter.